Welcome, flight crews. Angle of attack, flight work training, the 787 from Angle of Attack. We are here at Miami, parked. We've just gone through the whole overhead. We've checked our flight instruments. We are ready to go. This thing is ready to get sailing. The next thing we have to do is get ready for the push and start in this particular case. We're parked at Miami Gulf 19. The weather's looking good, pretty clear for us today. Standard stuff going on. And the first thing we need to do, if you can follow along with me, before push checklist, we're going to go and do checklist first. You can see and you say, well, where's the checklist? Well, it's right there, which is so nice. You can see the pre-flight. We've checked the oxygen already. Flight instruments, heading, and altimeter, we have checked those things. Park brake is set and fuel controls are cut off. Checklist is complete. Okay? Which is really nice. Now we'll get into you can see this checklist, not normal. So you got pre-flight, we've done that. So we go normal before start checklist. So that's what we're going to check now. Passenger signs, they're good. MCP is good. Takeoff speeds are entered and good. CDU pre-flight is complete. Taxi and takeoff briefing. Let's go ahead and do that now. Just the taxi and takeoff briefing. If you go ahead and pull up the chart on your Navigraph, that's what we use. Good old Navigraph chart, and they've come up with Jeppesen charts. How cool is that? They are so cool. I just got to tell you, Navigraph has been such a great company to work with for us. They're amazing, and they're very good because they listen to their customers. And they sent those survey. What do you want to see? Well, I want to see Jeppesen. I mean, that's what the industry usually uses. Obviously, Europe is the Lido charts, which is beautiful chart. Okay, I'm going to be quiet now. Now, what I want to tell you is what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the ICAS over. I'm going to throw the ND on, and I'm going to zoom in to that. And just to show you, kind of give you an orientation of where we are. We're parked on Gulf 19, so what we're going to do is we're going to push back, probably taxi down Papa. You can see we're going to go down Papa, and then we're going to keep going. We've got this major intersection here between 8 right. We'll probably hold short, get the airplane configured, and then we'll take 8 right on Mike 1. Okay, so it's really a straight, simple taxi. We are going to start both engines today, so I don't feel like dealing with adverse thrust. So without any questions, that's going to be the taxi route. The takeoff procedure is pretty simple. When we get on the runway, we're going to bring up the throttle to about 40%. We'll hit toga. We're going to follow the HUD. Anything below 80 knots, if there's any master caution light that happens to come on, we will stop the aircraft. I'll pull throttle to idle, slam on the brakes, and then we'll taxi off the runway. Anything from 80 knots to V1, we're only going to stop for 4 things: fire, failure, fear, shear. Remember those 4 things. Any types of engine fire or fire, any failure, any fear, which means this airplane is coming apart and it's not going to fly, any shear, any wind shear warning, predictive or active, and the last one, fire, failure, fear, or shear. We got them all. Okay? Engine failure. And that's it. Anything that's from 80 knots to V1. Anything past V1, we're going unless it's coming apart on us. The stopping is going to be the same as a normal aircraft, right? We'll throw the throttles to idle, full reversers, brakes, B brakes, and we'll taxi off. Okay? Any questions, comments, cheap shots, do not bother me with. I'm kidding. Okay, let's go and get this airplane ready to go. And I'm going to keep the ICAS over here. I just want to see that. Now, I am going to pull up a couple of things as we push back. I'm actually going to push up the electrical system. I want you guys to see that and how much load shed occurs. It's insane. So what we're going to do right now is go in the overhead panel, and we are going to turn on the APU. Contact, clear prop. The APU is right here. We're going to go to the on momentarily, got a fault light, we're going to go start. Watch the pressure. Pressure's off already. It's starting to draw that out. Okay, now let's get into here and I'll show you what it's doing. You can see this spinning. That's the generator. But take a look at status. There's your APU spooling up right now. RPM, EGT, pressure's coming up, temperature's coming up, oil quantity's coming up. And let's go to the electrical panel. You can tell when that APU's online as all left and right generators will pop on. And then we'll go ahead and disconnect. So as that's doing that, we're on number 2. We're going to turn the hydraulic pumps to the on position. You can see what the hydraulics are doing right now. There's nothing energized. Okay. Still spinning up, still good. You can still see the RPM's only at 89. AGT's up. Good deal. Now, hydraulic panel. Now you can see that APU is now energizing the buses. So we come up here to the hydraulics. Now, what hydraulic pumps do we need to turn on? That's all of them. Okay, so C1 auto, C2 auto, 2 fault lights are off. Electric left and electric right. 2 pumps, 2 fault lights are off. Obviously the engines are going to be off as well. We already turned the APU generators on. Let's go down to center pumps will be off. Let's go down to the beacon light. We're going to turn the beacon light on because we're getting ready for pushback. Stab trim. Let's go ahead and throw the stab trim up. We have a caution. You can see what the caution is. Fuel pressure, engine right. Hydraulic pressure system left, center, right. Engine shut down. That's good. Fuel pumps right, forward, left, forward, aft, and our TCAS. And you can actually clear that by doing that. And you can see you cleared, and now we can clear the system out. Now, 8.25, and I believe it was a little higher than that, so we're just going to bring it down to about 10, I believe. And rudder trim's at 0. Okay, we're good there. Stab trim, rudder set, doors. Let's check our doors. They are closed. Just to make sure they're all closed. They are all green. Good to go. Alright, we are going to disconnect the Synoptic. By the way, the CB, if you're ever wondering what that is, that's circuit breakers. And it's a digital circuit breaker. There's no circuit breaker in the cockpit anymore. It's all digitally done, which is amazing. Gosh, I'm just going to reset that. And I'm going to go over here to views. And if you're ever wondering where it is, instrument panel, quality wings control panel, and we're going to disconnect the external power. And that does that for us. And then what I'll do is I'm going to call the ground crew and we're going to get a good pushback going here. Prepare for push and start. Let's go Swissport. Now we actually want to go nose to the left, tail to the right. Do you want to start the engines? No, I do not. Okay, truck's in motion. I want to see what you got now. Now the APU generator's generating all 4 buses. The hydraulic is still not energizing yet. And our fuel, you can see how the APU is pumping in. It's fuel synoptic. Pretty cool stuff. Air. Okay, they're ready for pushback, they're saying. Let's keep it on electrical. I want you guys to see how much load shed happens when we start the engines. Pretty cool. We're actually going to start the engines, both engines at the same time. But first, before we do that, let's go through our checklist. It's so easy to forget them. Before start, taxi and takeoff briefing is complete. Before start checklist is complete. And then we'll do a before taxi here. I'm going to just pull that up now. Just so you know, I'm actually going to system, keep it on electrical. What did this guy say? Are we ready? Checklist pin, release parking brake. Okay, I'm going to go outside just to show you where we are, so you can kind of see, and it's loud. There it is in all of its glory. Pretty cool stuff. Flapper on, hang it down. Okay, we're hooked up, ready to go. Okay, we're going to pop the parking brake. We're going to release that. Parking brake is released. Take your time down. I've got time of... Now, I'm going to show you how this thing works. In a normal 737 right now, you're throwing packs off. You're going, oh, we got to get this thing configured. We got to get air to the engines to start it. Well, in this particular aircraft, that is not required. I'll show you what happens. So we're going to go on the overhead panel, and you see this right here, these two. We're going to start them on both, okay? I'm going to throw start, start. We're going to come down here, and now we're just going to throw these two. And you're going to see auto start, auto start. Look at all the load shedding happening here. Air, window heat, external lights, comm nav. It's pulling all, when you do auto starts like this, it's pulling so much electrical power because the starters, this is really cool, usually starters are pneumatic. It takes pneumatic air, shoves it into the starter turns the engine. These particular case, these starters are electrical. It's started by electrical. Just like that, boom, we're on buses already. They're lit. Here comes the EGT on rollback. The engines are started. Now, let's take a look at the air. You can see what's going on here. We still have the CACs working, so we still have air pressure to the cabin. Now, our fuel synoptic, take a look at that. Now, the reason why the fuel's not working well, because I didn't turn the dang things on, which is my bad. It's like an error right there. That's why I like to check all the fuel systems to make sure they're working. Now take a look at this. Nothing, just TCAS off. And we'll change that in a minute. Okay, looks like we're heading on Papa right now. And when they stop us, we'll go ahead and go. And by the way, when that's lit, we're going to go ahead and throw off the APU. We don't need that on anymore. You can see the electrical system does it automatically. It's pretty wild how this works. This guy's just going to keep pushing us back, huh? We'll throw the brake on. Our brake's set. Now, I haven't done my flow yet. I'm just working. APU's off. Engine anti-ice. Let's go and do that. Let's check that. Engine anti-ice are on auto. Fuel pumps are on. Taxi lights. Let's go ahead and throw those on. 4. Auto brakes. Good. 5. That was 5 auto brakes. 4. Flaps. Flaps set 5. That's 1. That's flaps 5. Flaps 5 set. 6. Let's go to MFD and we'll check the flight controls. Here's another really cool thing, and look at hydraulics now. See, your hydraulics are energized. This is the schematic for it. Primary demand pumps are here. They're working well. Our electric C1 and C2 are on, and they're working well as well. And then we have 2 of those backups, the electric backups that are working. They're unlocking the gear. We're not going to do any of that yet, but what's so cool about the flight controls is when we land, it'll actually auto-check the flight controls. So essentially what we're saying is the flight control check's already done. It's pretty wild, but we're going to do it. And I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, there we go. That's to the left. That's to the right. Straight back. Neutral. Rudder. Neutral. Rudder. Center. Elevator. Set. Flight controls, check. EFIS displays. I don't want to do that. Fuel, set. Hydraulics, electrical, air, check. Door, good. Gear, excellent. Flight controls are checked. Let's go and do a checklist here. Checklist. We're going to go before taxi, anti-ice, good, recall. The TCAS off, we're going to go ahead and check that out. Recall is checked. Flight controls are checked. Ground equipment is clear. Before taxi checklist is complete. And then we'll go into the before takeoff here. And we're not going to do that now, but you can see flaps before takeoff checklist is complete. We'll do that later. So ND is here. I'm just going to throw the menu down, and I need to turn on the TFC. Now you can see TCAS. Well, why is that not working? And that's simple, because we need to turn it on here. All the way over to TARA. That should work for us now. Good. Plug that open. Now I want you to see this. I'm going to go ahead and throw the ICAS over here. And I'm going to zoom in so you can see what we're doing. Right here, this is Papa. I want to take Papa all the way up. So you can see that. This is kind of like we did on the chart. I'm going to keep that chart open. And I'm going to throw the ICAS over here. So I'd like to see what's going on. Flaps are 5. We're good to go. Alright, let's go ahead and taxi this beast. Now, taxiing this aircraft takes a little bit of finesse, I should say. It's a great airplane. Breakaway thrust doesn't take much to taxi. Sorry about that. I want to adjust that view just a little bit. I'm going to bring it up. And I like to push them up really quick and then bring them down. And I do that because I don't want any configuration warnings going on. Now it's really cool. The wing flex on this particular aircraft is pretty sweet. I got a pretty cool wing flex going on for us. I'm going to bring them down because we're generally at a lighter weight. I do have to make that turn, so I got to kind of be paying attention here. Really cool stuff. I'm going to click this and just turn over and look. Looks good. And I try to maintain that center line the best I can, if I can. Good set. And that nose gear sits quite behind us a little bit, so it's important that you kind of try to track that line best you can. Okay, clear left. Roger, clear right. There comes a collision, guys. Wham! See that little... He's... Fuel truck, dude. He's dead. I just hit him. By the way, the scenery we're running, if you're wondering what the scenery is, this is Latin. I believe this is... I don't want to mess this up. I think it's Latin VFR, guys. Or it might be... I think it's Latin VFR. This is Latin VFR Miami, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'll have to do a better job of getting that for you, but I think it's Latin VFR. And if it isn't, I do apologize. But I believe it is. Okay. We're looking good. We're taxiing up Papa right now. I'm just checking my chart. And don't rely on this. That's the best thing I can tell you. It's a great reference tool to use, but really rely on your chart, right? So we just passed Hotel, I think. If I saw that right. They're coming up to what? This is Zulu. So, yep, we got Zulu, and then November is coming up here next. You kind of want to limit amount of head down movement. Right now, you just want to kind of keep your wits about you, especially when you're online. There's November, so we're going to keep going. We'll keep tracking here. Comes Papa, and like I said, Mike 1 we're looking for. I'm gonna go around here. Just gonna go idle thrust now. got to be careful because your hold line is there, right? So there we go. And a brake right here. Brake's a little touchy. I gotta fix that. All right, so we're gonna hold short right here, and we're lining up. Brake. Okay, we're gonna hold short. I'm gonna lock this open, and you can see where we're at. Let's slide the ICAS over for us, and you can see where we're sitting here. Right here, we're staring at mic 1. And I'll just unclick. You can see where we are right here. This is 12, but that runway where we need is right here. Okay, so this runway. That's the runway we want. So we're going to taxi straight up, turn, get the thing ready to go. That is it for the push and start. I will do a quick checklist. I want to bring over the ICAS back to here, and I'm going to take this off and throw ND. But first, what we want to do is we want to go checklist. And I'm going to go altimeters. No, that's wrong. And we're going to go normal. Give me a normal menu. And we're going to go before takeoff. Flaps check. Before takeoff checklist is complete. Flaps are 5. Okay, back to the ND. And I'm going to zoom out. There we go. And that'll give us a range about 10. That's what I want to see. About 10, maybe a little less, about 5. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. And the next lesson, we're actually going to do a takeoff and climb to about 10,000. So, until next time, throttle up.